Okay, so we're having the problem of our little screws are pulling out. We work on them, and you can you see the metal inside there? The metal plate that they've gone through?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and as we pull them, they tend to draw the metal plate out.
Well, now that we have holes, should we just go like this?
Probably. But what are you going to pull against is the question. Maybe just damage the thing. Try going this way. Yeah. Does that work? Now that you have holes. We have hammer here. Nice. Lefting, leftaroo with the hammer. Careful, the bearing is in there somewhere. It's probably a little further down. Oh yeah. If you get frustrated with that method, I have a different one. That one's already kind of cool.
When you say bearing, are there bearings behind the seal
Correct.
that are closed?
That are what?
That are closed?
Yeah, you can look in there with a little light and see that you've got bearings in there. Well, clearly this is a duplicate. One of these is better than the other.
Just destroying it now.
Kind of destroying it is okay.
Or the metal.
Okay.
We've lost our fingers.
All right, so I'll try my other idea. Okay, so we're talking about prior action. If you go to the store, if you go to the school and you don't want to eat the food there and you're just hungry and miserable, you can take prior action by making food in advance and bringing it with you.
Yeah.
If we have this metal that's pulling out like this, and that's harmful when it pulls out, we can take prior action by doing what? Keeping it from pulling out in the future by doing what?
That was too far of a jump
Okay.
from the analogy.
Okay. But you understand the concept of prior action. You take an action in advance of the problem time to counteract the problem time. Or
To counteract having the problem.
Yes, to preclude it or to counteract it when it does occur. Either one.
So the problem we have is what?
The metal, so imagine this is the screw head here, or the screw shaft here. As we pull on the screw to withdraw the seal, the metal opens up like so, and the screw comes pulling out without successfully withdrawing the seal. So how do we counteract the tendency for the metal to open up and release the screw when in fact we want it to hold the screw? And so we want to pull on the screw and it drags the metal with it. And what would be even cooler is if we could make the metal even more resistant than normal to withdraw the screw. Just using the materials that we have here. That's a tris problem.
Mm-hmm.
And once you take the class, it'll be an obvious solution. If you are allowed to take the class.
I don't know.
Okay, so pound this finely tapered point in, let's say there. Pound that in with this pounding hammer. use the side of the hammer. Stop. Did it go in?
Yeah.
Okay. What have you just done? Imagine what happened inside that surface.
Underneath the rubber?
Correct. What happened to the metal?
Nothing.
Didn't you just pound a hole in it?
I don't think I got to the metal yet.
Oh, I think you're through it, but go ahead.
Yeah, through it.
Mm-hmm. Now you're just making a bigger hole.
Okay, well, if that's making... I thought the rubber was too thick.
Well, let me get you a stick, and you can convince yourself if you're into the metal or through the metal or you're not. Here's a tiny stick.
Okay, yeah.
You're in the metal. So what shape is the metal
Well,
right
I
now?
didn't make a... Did I make a hole in the metal? Yeah. There's a dimple in it.
There's not a hole? So the metal is right here, and this goes all the way through it.
Okay.
Okay, so what does that look like in there? Let's just take a look. Let's cut a little window into our friend. What do you expect we're going to see under here?
I don't want the hole in it.
But what shape is it going to be?
That's the hole. Circle and
Okay, but relative to the concern that we had earlier, that the metal was pooching out when the screw went into it, what do we have now?
pooching out.
Right, so see this metal is pooched out like that? Didn't know pooch was a word, but it's a common term in working on surfaces.
Okay. Does pooched out not mean it just has a hole in it?
No, this doesn't just have a hole in it.
Well, I messed with this
Sure,
a lot
and it's pooched out.
after I messed with it.
And before.
It's more pooched out. No,
Correct. This one, what's the story with it?
just a hole. It's not pooched out?
It's definitely not. Let's get a little closer. Or a little more window into our thing. I know this is painful. I'm trying to get you to come to the solution even though you haven't had trizz, which is the painful part. See how you didn't drill that hole like I drilled the previous holes, you pressed that hole.
Mm-hmm.
So what did the steel do around the periphery?
That's different.
It got work hardened, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
What shape is it in now?
Conical?
The metal around, like, what's this surface here? If you were to rub it with your finger, what would you notice?
And it has a dip in it?
It goes in.
Mhm.
That's our prior action. So now imagine what happens when we try to put a screw in there and we deform it.
Deform the metal?
We're going to deform the metal with the threads of the screw, because that's how these types of screws work. They cut their own threads. And let's make it even a little bit more. Go ahead and hit that just a tiny bit. Just get a little bit of action on there. Okay, what's happening? We'll do it some more. Good. It's going in. So, now if we put the screw in, what'll happen? We can't put the screw in. Can't do it. It needs a couple more hits. Let's go with
Do you
this
want me to
guy.
move?
No, hold that and hit it. Okay, a little more. Good. Okay, let's see if that's big enough. Not big enough yet. Okay, go ahead and hit it with a bigger one. Good. And just look at the surface of what the metal is doing while you're doing this and imagining what's happening.
Is there something happening that we haven't talked about?
Maybe. I mean, not really. That's good. Okay, we're getting, the hole's getting a little bit bigger. Okay, hold everything. Okay, now the screw is in there, right? So what's the shape of the seal surface, the metal sealing or the metal seal structure in the vicinity of that hole?
It's going in.
It's going in. So it's like this.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going to happen when you pull on the screw?
It's going to tighten around the screw.
It's going to tighten around the screw. Whereas before here, when you pull on it, it loosens around the screw the more you pull. So this prior action both stops it from pulling out because it's a little bit ahead, and it also tightens around the screw, which is the opposite of what we had before. So this will have a stronger pull resistance than the other method.
Okay.
Okay, so now try to pull it out, which I would say use your same methods you were just using a moment ago. Put the pry bar back there. And here you go.
Hold it.
And see if you get any more satisfaction. And try not to bend the screw, just try to pull the seal. So if the action you're taking is bending the screw, make a different action. Meaning this should stay the same. It should not be changing angles and stuff. So you need to manhandle this so that it doesn't change angles at the same time as you apply force. Not working. Okay, now is the screw loose in there? Okay, so we've lost our ability. If you look at the screw now,
Super destroyed.
it is, and it's pulled itself roughly to a point where it's going to start opening up again.
Mm-hmm.
So we've lost our advantage that we had, meaning the amount of force we need to put on this thing, if we just put it on the way we have been, is insufficient to get it out of there. So we need a different method that applies different types of force or more force to get it out.
It'd be cool if you had like an inverted tool like this one where you grab and push.
Mm-hmm.
If you like
Had it like that and pulled. Almost like a little thing with a hook on it. This goofy guy.
kind of.
If we could just figure out how to make this dumb thing work. It's so weird.
Oh, there's two.
Yeah, so when you break one, I don't know. My time is almost at the end. I have less than 90 seconds remaining. Okay. So, I'm not quite sure how to do this. But you can play with it a bit. Oh, I guess it's kind of a problem. That other deformed metal is right there. Oh. I gotta go. I got my meeting. Can't really provide you any
Oh, the
additional.
metal part. Or any metal part.
And of course, you got to be careful not to damage the spline shaft or the bearing behind it while you're pulling it. Yeah, and I need a smaller magnet too. I had another one, but I don't know where the heck it went. Oh, the little spring? Yeah. The spring that grabs the seal and makes it tighter all the time. Okay, I'm gonna go. We can talk later. Just stop the stream when you're walking away.
At least he hadn't been captured, and that was something. Cole held on and tried to enjoy the ride. The exhilarating music of the tireless horse gave him hope that it meant no harm. Judging by what he heard and felt, the horse might not be safe, but it also didn't feel weak. Nothing in the music suggested that anybody was controlling it. One of the main emotions that came across was fierce independence. Thanks for rescuing me, Cole said. I don't know if you can understand it. I appreciate it. The horse gave no response. Can I call you Thunder? Cole asked.
I have a second book right now. I'm like halfway. We're back in town.
Come on, maybe some ground control. Yeah.
How do you know what we have to go do? We're back in town.
Come on, maybe some ground control. Yeah.
How do you know what we have to go do?
Goodbye.
So you saw my Instagram story. Yeah, it was awful. It was 10 hours, no in-flight entertainment, no nothing. Everyone on the plane was so pissed. Luca. So you saw my Instagram story. Yeah, it was awful. It was 10 hours, no in-flight entertainment, no nothing. Everyone on the plane was so pissed. Luca. shower.
Serve immediately after draining.
I go first.
No, excuse me. Okay. What do you listen to? Off by Harrison. Did you? Cole called. As usual, thunder made one line. Cole watched the horse gallop down the field. As thunder's music played, Cole not for other illusion. Like the fanfare he might hear at the start of a big event, or perhaps announcing the arrival of royalty. Old music promised splendor and spectacle, and called strongly to a sense of adventure. Pause. Could this be the home song? Alana had told him he would know the call of the other when he heard it. This music didn't feel like leaving the world behind, nor did it make him feel entranced. He could go toward or away from it as he chose. Music was about participating, not leading. Unsure what direction to take him toward the ghosts, Cole followed the grand music. The clearer the music became, the more he wanted to participate in whatever was going on. It was the most appealing music he had heard in Echoland so far. He started to run for fear of what he might otherwise miss. As he came around the stand of tall trees, a sprawling building appeared, filling most of the valley before him. The white stone masonry and shining gold accents gave it the feel of a flashing mansion. Cole had seen no larger structure in his life, including the first castle, as well as shopping malls back home. Ranging from a couple of stories to several stories tall, a regular monstrosity just kept home. As if an architect had designed the biggest building ever, and added several other huge buildings for good measure, connecting everything with walls, walkways, and courtyards. Cole jogged down into the valley, heading for a large set of golden doors. A pair of soldiers stood out front, a man and a woman, dressed in showy gold breastplates and helmets, each holding a spear. Cole slowly reached the steps, leading up to the doors. The powerfully built guards stared out beyond. The exciting music blared louder than ever. Can I come in? Cole asked. The female guard looked down at him. You hear the music? Cole chuckled. Her comment seemed like a joke because it was so loud. Hard to miss. To those who hear it, the male guard replied. Enter. Cole climbed the steps and paused at the doors. Both guards stood much taller. You have weapons, he said. Such is our honor, the female replied. What is this place? Cole asked. Its music tells the tale better than any name, the male said. Most call it the Hall of Glory. You are young and bright to hear its song. He saluted with his spear. Is my sword a problem? Cole asked. The female grinned. It's an endorsement. Wear it well. One of the two doors was a little ajar. Thanks, Cole said, and pushed through. Music and females completely different from outside. The brash fanfare giving way to calm, soothing tones. He entered a vast chamber with a high ceiling of stained glass, a fountain burbled in the center of the room, an obvious luxury in a land with little water. Soft snatches of conversation rebounded in the cabin space. Men and women mingled in diverse attire, some dressed like knights, others in fine clothes or more common outfits. He saw one man wearing a dark blue United States military. A gentleman in a white wig and tri-cornered hat wandered up the hole, removed his hat, and bowed. Hamilton Hayes, at your service, the man said. What brings a young bright echo to our hall? Music, Cole said. And I'm looking for directions. Hamilton gave an easy chuckle. You've come to the right place, my boy. I don't know much about the local geography, but the combined knowledge of those assembled here will map out more than one world for you. Somebody will know. Who comes here? Cole asked. You already know the answer, Hamilton said. Those who hear the clarion call of glory, the boldest and most heroic men and women, whose hearts are acquainted with passion and sacrifice. Not everybody hears the music of this place, Cole asked. The man gave a little frown. Many are quite deaf to it, I'm afraid. Then he smiled and clapped Cole on the shoulder. But others hear the summons loud and clear. Count themselves fortunate to stand among them. There is an entire wing of Vikings who believe this is their final destination, a rowdy but jovial crowd. Where are you from? Cole asked. I hail from Virginia, the man answered. America? Cole asked. You know it. I had you pegged as a local in Cronin or Elaware. I came from Arizona. The man chuckled. I've heard of it, though it was not a state in my day. To think our modest colonies expanded from ocean to ocean. You will find folk from various worlds here. The Echo Lands are crossroads. Hamilton tipped his hat forward and wandered on. Cole watched him walk away. How long did that guy? This is so nice. Cole. He wanted all the rooms were empty, making over endless. The more Cole paid attention, the more he found little rooms and yards hidden here and there. Most rooms had sparse furnishings, but some of the smaller ones were cozy. Many rooms had tables set out with fruit and vegetables on. Cole found greenhouses and lush, open-air gardens. The diversity of echoes continued to impress. Cole could have been behind the scenes at a movie studio where a variety of period films were simultaneously in production. Rugged mountain men chatted with Romans and togas. Primitively dressed tribesmen walked alongside military nurses. Some outfits looked completely foreign. A few echoes had the heads of wolves or cats. Down one hall, Cole spotted a short echo with grasshopper legs and translucent wings. Thinking of Twitch, Cole ran to catch up. "Excuse me," Cole said when he got close. The slender man turned. "What is it?" He sounded defensive. "Rinaldi." The man blinked. "Are you also from the Wide Wetlands?" "No, but I'm friends with one of your people, Twitch." The man appeared thoughtful. "I'm not familiar with the name. Might be from before my time. I died a short while ago in the Battle of Kasori." "When the Swamp people took over?" Cole asked. "No, lad. When the Half Knight helped us reclaim our villages." "Wait," Cole said. "You met the Half Knight? Then you must have met Twitch. He would have brought the Half Knight to Kasori. I was with him when he met Minimus." Realization dawned on the man's face. "You mean Ruby? Twitch must be a nickname." "That's right," Cole said. "He got Twitch from the Sky Raiders." The man shook Cole. "I'm Zig. Any friend of Ruben's is a friend of mine. He and Minimus saved us." "Tell me what happened." "I never heard." He smiled warmly. "It was beautiful. You heard of Renford and the Swamp Folk?" "Basics," he said. "They defeated your champions, took over your villages, and managed them. It was a grim day when that scoundrel came to town." "He and his lot kept inventing new ways to degrade our community. Good fields went to waste, productive livestock were mismanaged. Stores we had built up over years were raided, and our people were basically enslaved. It was horrible. But Twitch, Ruben. Twitch, well, sir, if that's how you know it. He shows up unannounced one day with a tiny knight claiming to be the champion of the village. The one Rinaldi village too remote to earn the attention of the Swamp Folk. The Rinaldi are not large in stature, and this knight, in full armor, was at least a head shorter than all but our children. Imagine our surprise when he marches up to Renford and challenges him for the championship. Renford was champion of all your neighboring villages. If Minimus beat him, you were all free. It was the notion, Zig said. I heard Renford talking before the duel. He didn't like the high quality of our knight's armor. His own equipment was mismatched and incomplete, but he was confident that his size would take the day. Was he ever wrong? Minimus won, Cole asked. Handily! The fight ended almost before it began.
up into smithereens.